A service of Thanksgiving at St Paul's Cathedral in central London this morning will give thanks for the Queen's 7 decades as monarch, with the Prince of Wales, of course, Duchess of Cornwall, as well as the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, all going to be in attendance. Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are also likely to be there as well. Prince Andrew, however, has not been sent any events after the palace stated, basically, that he had tested positive for COVID. Yes, OK, fair enough. Anyway, joining me this morning is historian and indeed legend David Starkey, who has written more than 20 books on the monarchy, some looking as far back as the Middle Ages. You're not old enough to remember that, surely?
Not quite, young man. Stop patronising me.
Yeah, there we go. Well, look, where to start? I mean, obviously, look, it was unfortunate news yesterday, of course, about the Queen suffering some discomfort. As far as I'm concerned, I've made this very clear already. I think a lot of this is overblown. She's 96 years old, and she's perfectly entitled to sit down every now and again, basically. But what do you make of it? She will be disappointed not to be there.
I think more than that. The service was the music, the structure of the service is a kind of echo of her coronation. What it represents is, it's not simply, she's been here 70 years. There are echoes of that beginning. The key piece of music, wonderful piece, best piece of music there by Hubert Parry, I Was Glad, is actually written for the coronation.
Really?
Not her coronation, but the coronation of Edward VII, and that it's used again for her grandfather. She hears it for the first time when she's a young girl at the coronation of her parents, and then she walks down the abbey to this piece of music. And the idea was she would have entered St Paul's to that same piece of music, which is wonderful. It's about the entry into the Temple of Jerusalem. And I've handled, Patrick, it's extraordinary, I've actually handled the manuscript.
Oh, my God.
Which is kept in the archives of the Royal College of Music. And you can see, we were talking yesterday about, how immaculately everything is planned. This piece of music was actually composed to reflect the number of steps it takes from the west door of the Abbey to passing under the great screen with the organ and whatever, where the royal party disappears for the moment, and then going through into the choir and synchronising with the cry of the little choir boys, Vivat, Vivat, Vivat Regina. And you can watch how they modify the music so that it will fit.
Goodness me, that's fantastic.
So all of the music that we're going to hear is echoes of royal music, either new or old, going back to Handel, through Walton. Not as much Elgar as I would have liked. We're not having very much pomp and circumstance in this. This is all peace, justice and diversity.
The modern royal family.
The modern royal family. A bit more Prince Charles than the Queen. I don't know about you. You were going on about flags. I quite like a bit of pomp and circumstance.
I do.
And I also think what's more important is we've got the Ukraine. You were talking about Ukrainian flags. What the Ukraine shows is right needs might. Our army, our troops, they're not there for fun. No. They're not just there to parade. They're there because doing right, doing justice, sometimes needs force. And we're forgetting that.
Absolutely.
And, I find this service beautifully composed, thought through and whatever, but how can I say, it's a bit like the modern Church of England. So, it's that kind of slightly strangulated voice that's lost a bit like the Archbishop of Canterbury, who won't be there, of course, that's lost confidence in itself. And what you were talking about, I think it's going to be very important. I'm getting a feeling that's what's happening. This should be a moment of not simply thanking the Queen, but of national rediscovery. We should appreciate we're an unbelievably fortunate country. We spend times criticising ourselves, torturing ourselves for things that happened 200-300 years ago. We should, on the whole, say, we didn't do it, our ancestors did.
Yeah.
The Queen's generation and those before. But this should be a time not simply thanking the Queen, but dare I say it, thanking God we're British.